so now that we've got this guy in here, I wanted to go over a little bit how to control the visibility and graphics on this guy. So let me go ahead and close this guy up. I don't really need this for right now. So I would like to make these more readable, and then I would like to apply those settings to all of the other schematics, like the 4 schematic views that are there. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to come in here and kind of double click on this view. And first thing, I don't really want these elevations in here, so I'm going to hide them. So I'm going to select them and type VH for view hide, and it's going to hide them. And then what I also want to do is I want to make the section cut much more prevalent, right? So I'm going to do that through my visibility graphics. There is a way to go in and affect the material, but oftentimes what you're going to want to do is override the material settings, and we'll talk about that a little later, and use your visibility graphics to control what the section cut looks like. So I'm just going to type VV, so the letter V twice here, and it's going to bring up what's called the visibility graphics overrides for floor plan A2 schematic. So that's the floor plan that I'm in right now. It's only going to affect this view. It's not going to affect anything else in the project. So I can scroll down to the correct category. Remember, this is a conceptual mass, so I can come down, make sure that mass is checked, and then I have the ability to override the cut and projection material application, well, graphic applications here. So if I wanted to have a darker cut, I can come to this and override and set it to a solid fill, and I'll just set it to a dark red, right? And click OK, and click OK and hit apply, right? And now I've got a dark red fill. And let's say that I wanted something that was going to start to show sort of the curvature of some of these pieces. And so I'll come over to my projection pattern, and I'll override that in the mass, and I'll come and pick a small crosshatch, and I'll set it to a light gray, right? And click OK, and hit apply. So now you can start to sort of see that twist happening, okay? So if I zoom in here, you can start to see it working a little bit. There is a command that will show you line weight, so you can kind of see the elevation line here, right? And the section cut line. And there is a difference. If you type TL, it turns the line weight on and off, so you can see what the line thickness is and what it isn't. So I want this section cut line to be much darker. So if I were to follow the process that I did for the section cut fill and the projection surface, I come in here, scroll down to the masses, and then here's the cut line. So if I go to my cut line, I can change the weight to a really thick weight, which would be like a 10. And then if I hit apply, nothing happens. It's a little frustrating. You're like, wait a minute, why is that not changing? So I'm going to go over here and clear the overrides and click OK. The reason it's not changing is there's one special thing that you need to do for the masses in order to get the line weight to show and change in the visibility graphics override. You need to expand the mass and change it on the form itself. So if I come to the form and override the cut line for the form and flip that weight out for a 10 and click OK and hit apply, now I'm going to get a really thick line weight, right? So if I click OK there, now I've got that guy, and maybe I want a little bit of shadow because this looks like it's right, you know, this is kind of going deep down and there's a base that has a surface on it. And so if I come in, I can then also come in and sort of turn my shadows on. So I have active in this view, turn my shadows on. So you're starting to get a little bit of shadow over here, but I'd like a little more. So I'll come into my sun path here and go to sun settings. And right now it's just doing, you know, an azimuth and an altitude. So I'll just come in here and set this to like 45. And it's weird, it won't let you apply it until you like accept it. And then you can apply, and then you're getting sort of this nice shadow. It's a little dark for me. Like I feel like that shadow's a little dark. So I'm going to come down to my graphic display options, and I'm going to go to lighting, and change the shadows from a 60 to, I'm around a 30. I like mine at about a 30. Right, so now I kind of like that because you can see the shadows, but you can still see the stuff behind it. So now, if I want to apply that to all my other views, I would have to go do that in every single view. But what I can do is I can save these settings. So again, I'm going to save the parameter settings for this and then apply them to the other views. So to do that, I just need to make sure that I'm saving them from Plan A2 schematic, because that's the one I updated. So if I come over here and right click on Plan A2 schematic in my project browser, I can create a view template from view. So if I create that, it will bring up a dialog box that asks me for a name, and I'll give it Plan, and I'll name it Red Shadow. Okay, and then I'll click OK. And it's going to say, here's all of the things that it's going to save. We basically just went to the Visibility Graphics Override model and overrode the section cuts. But these are all of the different things and parameters that you can save for a view. So it's pretty impressive. And so here's some other view templates. This is called a view template that I'm saving. And so I'll leave all of these checked for right now and click OK. All right, so now I've got that saved. Now I can just go to these, highlight them, right click on them, and apply my view template. Right, so if I go to Plan Red Shadow and click OK, then all of those update. Right, so I can have multiple different templates and just sort of flip them in and out as I need. Okay, so the important thing to remember here is that the section cut is not controlled in the top of the hierarchy of the visibility graphics. It's controlled for the masses. It's actually controlled in the flyout under the form, right? Okay. All right, so that's it for that.